All right, Gym Boxing family, what's going on? This your boy Get 'em Mike, and I just touched down in Los Angeles, California yesterday for the Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter unification fight. I know y'all been waiting on it, but I have yet to release my final prediction video for this fight, and I'm about to drop it right now, talk about all the different ins and outs, and let y'all know exactly who I believe is gonna win on September 28th. Y'all stay tuned.
You know we've been fighting for and still fighting to this day.
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work!
What up? What's going on, fight fans, Gym Boxing family? We out here live from Staples Center for the Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter unification fight. It's going down tomorrow, the 28th. And I want to give my thoughts about this fight and give my final prediction of who's going to win this fight. Now, we already know Errol Spence Jr. is the favorite. He's the big favorite to win this fight. But there's a few things that both of them do that may give the other one an opportunity to possibly win the fight. Errol Spence has all the physical advantages. He's taller, he has the longer reach. Okay, I'm not sure if y'all can hear me because I got a big event going on back there. Okay, now Errol Spence has the offensive skill advantages where we seen versus Mikey Garcia, he was able to show a lot of good boxing skill. But there's one thing that I want to talk about real quick that Errol Spence does that gives Shawn Porter a chance, in my personal opinion, and that's the fact that when Errol Spence is getting attacked, okay, Errol Spence Jr. seems to flinch up sometimes, and he'll do this kind of thing here where he'll put his earmuffs on and allow his opponents to attack. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to Showtime Shawn Porter has a reputation of being a relentless pressure fighter. Especially the old Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter used to come forward and really put a pressure on his opponents. He'll put his head on you. He'll put everything he can on you to try to hurt you. And I think with his experience, that gives Shawn Porter a much bigger chance than everybody is giving him in this fight because he's fought a lot of top names. Those are the things that we know. Errol Spence Jr. lacks a little bit of experience in the top fighters class, okay? He only have one elite fighter that everyone knows on his resume, and that's Kell Brook in a fight where I give him full credit for that. So another thing with Shawn Porter is that Shawn Porter usually always comes in shape, okay? He usually has great stamina to push pretty much through all 12 rounds, and I think the fact that he showed some versatility in his last few fights, okay? Versus Ugas, he showed that he can move around a little bit. Versus Danny Garcia, he showed that move around, that boxing ability, that counter-punching ability. Shawn Porter definitely did show some positive things. One problem that he has, in my opinion, though, one of the cons for Shawn Porter is that Shawn Porter is a very inaccurate puncher, okay? Errol Spence Jr. is a much more accurate puncher than Shawn Porter. With power shots and also shots to the body and to the head, he's more accurate by percentage, okay? One of the things that Shawn Porter has problems with is his arms are too short. Shawn Porter has very short arms, so he has to jump in on his opponents in order to try to connect. He has to come in very closely and try to come up under their jab in order to make it work. And I see that's a problem for Shawn Porter. Errol Spence Jr. is an undefeated welterweight champion, okay? Which means usually it's super hard to beat a champion who's as extremely confident as Errol Spence Jr. is, okay? Errol Spence has never lost a match. Most of his fights have not even really been close. And I think at the press conference, Shawn Porter said something about that, saying something about the fact that the reason why Shawn Porter, his fights are close is because he's been fighting more top competition than Errol Spence is, okay? But I definitely give Errol Spence the credit that he's undefeated. He also has the fan support, okay? He's the fan favorite in this fight to win, and I think a lot of times that can give you a great push in this fight, okay? The crowd gonna be screaming every time Errol Spence lands something good. He's gonna have that much on his, on his side, okay? So a few of the cons with Errol Spence as well, to me, is that at top competition, we've seen Errol Spence Jr. Have a fight against Kell Brook where Kell Brook landed some good shots on him, and also back in the day when he fought against that Lardy guy, I think it was an African guy, he landed a big shot on Errol Spence. Now that was about the only 2 times that I've ever really saw Errol Spence Jr. In trouble, to the point where, not in trouble, but the fact where he got hit and he got touched up a little bit. And I think the lack of a chin, we don't know how Errol Spence's chin is versus top competition at a high level. We don't know how Errol Spence is going to do if he gets cut and there's blood. We assume that he has so much dog, but it's just yet to be seen. And that's one of the things, is the inexperience at the top levels that could sway this fight in Shawn Porter's favor a little bit, okay? Now, we know Shawn Porter is very inaccurate, like I talked about earlier. Doesn't really land a lot of punches. He tends to smother his work from time to time, but for me, a positive thing is that he's always active, and certain judges, that can look good to certain judges. He's always moving. I know I'm the type of person that likes I like aggression. I like that aggression. Somebody's coming and coming and coming. They bring their lunchbox and they constantly working, and I think Shawn Porter has that over Errol Spence. He's going to continue to keep coming and coming and coming. Okay, so that's a few of the things. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I know I've been waiting to drop this video. That's a few things that I see from Errol Spence and from Shawn Porter, and it leads me to believe that in this fight, to go along with the fighters, the business side of boxing, Errol Spence is the fan favorite. We know they're trying to make Errol Spence a superstar. We know they're going to try to make Errol Spence, that next pay-per-view Mayweather type of fighter. And I don't necessarily see how Errol Spence losing this fight is going to help the PBC or help the sport of boxing. So I believe this fight is going to be so tough to call on the judges. I think it's going to be tit for tat. It's going to be a very, very aggressive fight. It's going to be a lot of stuff happening to where I believe. So my final prediction for this fight this Saturday between Errol Spence Jr. and Showtime Shawn Porter, I gotta say, Errol Spence Jr. wins by 12-round unanimous decision. I think this fight will be very, very entertaining. I think it's gonna be a lot of action-packed. It's gonna be so much where it's gonna be hard for the judges, in my opinion, to pick it, but I think Errol Spence is going to land the cleaner. He's going to land the more explosive power shots. I think it's going to be somewhat clear who won this fight. I don't see Errol Spence Jr. stopping him. I think Shawn Porter is just a dog. I think he's going to come to fight. He's going to let everybody know that he's here. If Shawn Porter somehow pulls this fight out and wins, I would not be surprised, because I think Shawn Porter has everything in him to even compete or even to defeat a guy like Errol Spence Jr. But I just think because Errol Spence is such an accurate power puncher and body puncher, I think that, to go along with everything else I said in this video, with the fan base behind him, his fans love him, the crowd is gonna come out and support him, and I think all of that together with his trainer, his father, everybody just behind him, pushing him, I think Errol Spence Jr. will be victorious on September 28th. This your boy Get a Mic. This is Jim Boxing. Really appreciate everybody for checking into the video. Make sure y'all give this a thumbs up, and I'll be out of here live from LA. Peace.